Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I'm ready for the event.
Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
I have you loud and clear. How me?
Got you loud and clear as well. Please stand by for opening remarks.
Hello, I am Ruta Kashiri, Education Programs Manager for Virginia Space Grant Consortium. We are very excited about this opportunity for our students who are taking on the Plant the Moon Challenge, a program developed by the Institute of Competition Sciences to see who can grow the best crops using lunar regolith simulant. Today, we're joined by students from Virginia, West Virginia, North and South Carolina, Florida, and Puerto Rico. Thanks to this NASA-funded partnership of 6 space grant consortia. Now for our first question.
Hi, my name is Ayla Zook, and I'm from King George High School. And my question is, what is the most interesting way you have seen an object react to zero gravity? Thank you.
Well, zero gravity is one of the most fun things about being on space station. And one thing that surprised me is just how fast objects can move in microgravity. So you can see all the balls here in this box. And one of the ways that plays out in our daily life is if we're trying to take something out of a bag, like say we needed to remove one of the balls from this box. You open the bag and reach in and everything goes flying and they can move away from you so fast. It definitely makes things a challenge up here.
Hi, my name is Priscila. I'm from the school Ramon de Jesus Sierra from Lares, Puerto Rico. And my question is, what type of coffee do astronauts drink in space? Ground, instant, premixed, and how it is served?
We have a nice variety of coffee up here. All of it's instant, and our support folks on the ground prepare that coffee for us in pouches such as this one. This isn't coffee, this is water. But so once we get up here, we just pull a pouch out of our food bins and add hot water to it, shake it up a little bit, and then it's ready to drink.
Hello, my name is Nathan, and my question is, how do you handle the confines of the space station floating in a vacuum without the ability to step out and enjoy fresh air or nature?
That's a great question because when I was on the ground before I actually got to space, that was probably the thing I was most worried about, not being able to step outside and step into the sunshine or enjoy nature, which is something that's important to me to do every day. But surprisingly, up here, I found that while I miss weather, I miss being outside, it doesn't really affect my mood or my fatigue level like I thought it might. And I think that's just because we have so many interesting things going on every day. And then most importantly, we have an amazing window to look out of called the cupola where we get to see Earth. And so I think getting to see Earth every day and how beautiful it is, that really helps a lot.
Hi, my name's Megan. And my question is, was there anything that scared you about going to space?
I wouldn't say I was scared to launch. I woke up on launch morning just feeling very ready to go do my job. Like I'd taken care of everything I needed to take care of and was just super excited for the mission. We do a lot of training to prepare for these space flights, and so we work through all of the normal procedures, like how we expect things to go, and then we also train a lot on unexpected situations, emergencies, or any kind of off-nominal situation that we might find ourselves in. And so All of those things combined, you're just very comfortable and confident that you can handle anything that might come up during the mission.
Hi, my name is Matthias, and my question is, how does your body adapt to the microgravity environment in space?
Yeah, it's interesting. We experience a lot of different changes up here on Space Station. And some of those changes are our bones, of course. That's a well-known one. Our bones lose density, and so we do a lot of exercise, 2 hours of exercise every day to offset that. There's also a pretty noticeable fluid shift that happens in your body. So on Earth, the way the fluids are distributed in your body is largely affected by gravity. But up here, in the absence of gravity, those fluids all move around, and so a lot of us end up with more fluid in our head, which makes our faces appear a little more round and also can give us a lot of congestion.
Hello, my name is Addison. My question is, what would different types of water act like in microgravity? For example, carbonated water versus salt water.
That's a great question, and water is one of my favorite things to play with up here. It's super interesting because you can make these water balls and see your reflection and the reflection of everything around, and they're just kind of fun to play around with. But carbonated water, because the gas bubbles, so on Earth, carbonated water, all the gas comes to the surface and is released. In space, that wouldn't happen. The gas would just stay trapped inside the water. And so if you were to drink a Coke on Space Station or some kind of carbonated beverage, you would be drinking a lot more gas than you would otherwise on Earth.
Hello, my name is Messiah Roman Ramos. I am from the school Ramon de Jesus Sierra in Lares, Puerto Rico. My question is, if you had to select plants that would feed you for several months, what seed would you select to germinate in space?
Well, we don't really have any way to cook fresh vegetables in space, so a lot of the focus of the research that we do up here to grow plants focuses on plants that we can eat, like tomatoes or peppers, straight off the plant. Fortunately for me, I love all vegetables, and so I would definitely want to grow some tomatoes and lots of different kinds of greens, which we've done up here, and maybe some herbs as well.
My name is Miwana, and my question is, how is capillary action in plants affected while in space?
That's a great question because that is actually one of the things we are actively researching up here right now. We have experiments that are studying different ways that we can grow plants in the microgravity environment, and that involves studying how those plants are able to uptake water and other nutrients from soil when we don't have gravity or the typical ways to water plants on Space Station.
Hi, my name is Sarah Green, and my question is, how does it feel to wake up on the space station every day?
Well, I'll just say that it's awesome to wake up on Space Station every day. Even if I didn't sleep that well and wake up tired, once I remember where I am, I'm always excited to get up. Usually the first things I do, I'll check we call our daily summary. That's kind of the daily news of what's happening on Space Station, and check the schedule, and then go make some coffee and breakfast, and it's always really nice. Oh, and of course, look out the window.
Hi, my name is Joshua. My question is, how is the amount of chlorophyll in a plant affected by microgravity?
As far as we can tell, chlorophyll in plants on Space Station are the same as plants on Earth. But what we have seen in plants that are grown up here are different kind of stress pigments that are due to the reaction of the stress of being in the microgravity environment.
My name is Giswan Rivera. My question is, what research are you doing under International Space Station?
We do all kinds of research up here, from life sciences to combustion experiments to material science to physics experiments. Pretty much anything you can think of, we're probably doing a little bit of on space station. Some of the stuff that I've found really interesting lately are the life sciences experiments that we're doing, and also some medical research that I'm a part of. So as astronauts, we're actually also an experiment ourselves. And I'm part of a big research study that is studying the effects of the spaceflight environment on the human body, everything from bone health to my brain and eyes and how they are adapting to the space environment.
Hi, my name is Kamaya, and my question is, how does it feel to be active contributors to the future of space exploration as we fully embrace the Artemis generation?
It's an amazing time to be a part of NASA right now. I think I've been following the space industry since I was in high school, and just kind of watching it grow and how we got to where we are today has been really amazing, and it's even more amazing to be a part of it now. Just speaking of the Artemis generation, one thing I want to say too is that we need all sorts of different people to make this a successful mission. So, you know, as astronauts, we're very visible, but we are supported by so many different people on the ground: engineers, scientists, doctors, publicists, graphic artists. And so if you're interested in spaceflight, there's probably a space for you in the Artemis program.
Hi, my name is Jack, and my question is, how do solar flares affect the International Space Station?
Solar flares are definitely something we pay attention to up here. We obviously get a lot more radiation being on the International Space Station than we do on Earth. Solar flares are just one of those kinds of radiation that we get. But we have scientists on the ground who are paying attention to space weather and keeping an eye on things. And so if there were ever a really big solar event or some increase in radiation, we would be able to shelter here on Space Station. But most days, it's not a factor for us. What solar flares do for us, though, sometimes is give us really spectacular auroras, or the northern lights.
Hi, my name is Cameron, and my question is, how does being in space affect your sleep?
Right now, these days, I'm sleeping way better, I think, even than I do on Earth. When I first got up here, it was a little hard to fall asleep just because you don't have the usual cues, like you don't feel like you're lying in a bed. You're just kind of floating as if you were trying to fall asleep while you were floating underwater, for example. But now I think it's very comfortable, so I love it. The other thing that affects our sleep is just the fact that we don't have a normal day-night cycle. We see a lot of sunrises and sunsets every day, and so that kind of throws you off too, because you don't get the usual cues like it's time to go to bed. But we can change the lights on Space Station, so we have a pre-sleep setting for our lights that kind of dim them down. And then also not looking out the window before you go to bed helps, but that's pretty hard to do.
Hi, my name is Avery, and my question is, how is individual cell growth impacted in microgravity?
So cells grow differently up in space than they do on Earth, which is one of the experiments actually that we have on board right now, which is a bioprinter. So we can print tissue and cells up here on Space Station. And without the effects of gravity, cells grow more like they do in our body. So they're more easily able to develop the 3D structures that they need to have versus on Earth when they are under the influence of gravity. So this lets us do a lot of exciting research related to cell growth and tissue development.
My name is Angela, and my question is, would the growth of vine plants be stunted in microgravity?
We haven't actually tried to grow vines on space station yet, although I would absolutely love it if we did. But we don't think that the vines would grow much differently here than they do on Earth. We would have to contain them somehow, though, with a trellis or some kind of containment. But I look forward to the day that we have some vines up here.
Hi, my name is Cassidy, and my question is, how are plants affected by solar radiation in space?
The plants we grow on space station aren't really affected by solar radiation in space any more than we are, like I was talking about earlier, because we have so many day-night cycles, we see the sunrise and sunset so many times each day. We actually grow the plants under artificial growing lights here on space station. So they're in an enclosed compartment, and they have their own lights, and so the research team could regulate when those plants are being lit or not.
Hi, my name is Camilla, and my question is, how does the microgravity environment cause physiological changes to the human body?
Well, it causes a bunch of different changes. I mentioned earlier changes to our bone, and also changes in the fluids in our bodies. One of the really interesting things I found is just how quickly humans adapt, so how our brains adapt to the microgravity environment. When I first got on space station, it was really confusing if I was all of a sudden upside down. So right now I'm in the same orientation that we train in on Earth, so this feels very normal. But you can also go upside down, so I could be working and this is my new floor and this is my ceiling. And so when I first got on space station, that was really confusing, and I would be extremely disoriented if I came into a module in a different orientation. But my brain adapted really quickly to that 3D environment, like within a couple weeks, stuck on some Velcro. Within a couple weeks, I could come around a corner and know exactly where I was on space station.
How amazing was it to get a chance to talk to the astronauts on the space station? On behalf of all the students participating on the Plan the Moon Challenge, we want to thank the crew for their time in answering all questions.
Thanks, those were great questions, and I love talking with all of you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.